Alright, this topic is called solving linear equations with variables on both sides with distribution. A lot of fancy words. Basically all it means is we're going to have the x on both sides of the equal sign. We're going to have to do a little bit of distribution, which is the same thing as multiplying through a parentheses. So let's just get to one and see how bad it looks. For starters, I don't think it will be anything so terrifying that it's going to make you run out of the room screaming. And what our goal is to get down so that we have x on one side, an equal sign, and a number on the other side. Alright, so here's the distribution part. The very first step you should do with any equation, when you have a set of parentheses and a number out front, you generally look inside the parentheses and say, can I combine those two things? Can I combine the x and the 2? I can't subtract them because the x has an x and the 2 doesn't. So I'm stuck there. I can't combine what's in the parentheses. So in algebra, what we do in a case like that, we take the number outside and we distribute through, which means that we multiply through with it. So let's rewrite this equation, simplifying it as we go. So negative 9 times x gives you the negative 9x. I have a minus sign here, so I'm going to bring it down. So negative 9x minus, and now I have to go back and multiply the negative 9 times the 2, which gives me negative 18. If you think back to your good housekeeping skills in math, whenever you have a minus and negative, boop, boop, make it plus a positive. Alright, and the entire other side of the equation, we can just rewrite because we have not touched it yet. Now what we do is, now that we have no parentheses left, notice that we have x's on both sides of the equation. We want to get them all on one side. So let's look at the 5x, which is over here, and let's just get rid of it. Alright, let's probably just, to get rid of it, we need to realize that it's being added. The opposite of adding is subtracting. So let's just double check. 5x take away 5x. That's going to give us 0 x's on that side, and that's perfect. What we do to one side of the equation, we need to come over here and realize that the 5x is going to be combined with the 9x, because they both have x's. There's no way we could combine the 5x with the 18 because they're not like terms. Okay, negative 9x minus 5x is going to give us negative 14x. We haven't touched that 18, so we're going to keep that there. And over on this side of the equation, we only have a 46 left. Now hopefully this looks like what I call the run-of-the-mill two-step equation, and you should feel pretty comfortable going from here. The 18 needs to be subtracted to get rid of it, and then we subtract 18 over here. When we rewrite, we have negative 14x, and that is going to equal 28. Finally, to get rid of the negative 14, it's being multiplied, so to undo the multiplication, we divide. And our last step is to just think about it. We have a positive divided by a negative, so our answer is going to be negative, and 28 divided by 14 is 2. So our answer is going to be negative 2. Alright, let's do another problem. And if you watched the last one and you just felt like you needed a refresher on how to do it, then that's absolutely fine. Why don't you copy down this problem, hit the pause button, solve it in your notebooks, then hit the play button and see if you got the same exact thing that I had. Otherwise, you're welcome to just hang out and watch another example being done, or do it along with me in your notebooks. That's fine. Alright, so again, we have x's on both sides of the equation. We have a side of the equation which has some parentheses, and we can't combine what's inside those parentheses. The x and the 8, they can't play together. They can only stand next to each other with a plus or minus between them. Alright, so the first step is always to get rid of those parentheses by distributing or multiplying through. So our left-hand side of the equation, we're just going to recopy, and now we're going to start multiplying. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Bring down our plus sign from what's in the parentheses. And negative 3 times 8 is negative 24. So it looks a little less ugly, no more parentheses to deal with. Now we need to get the x's all on one side. I'm going to take this negative 3x and I'm going to bring him to the other side by adding a 3x. When I add a 3x to this side, notice that negative 3x plus 3x gives me 0 x's. So I need to also add 3x over here. 2x plus 3x gives us 5x. I haven't touched the minus 19 yet. And then over here I have negative 24. Again, we're down to the basic two-step equation. You should feel pretty comfortable with that, I hope. We want to get rid of the 19 by undoing that subtraction. So we add 19 to both sides. Rewrite. And negative 24 plus 19 is going to give us a negative 5. And our final step is to get rid of this 5 by dividing. And we have a negative divided by a positive, so our answer is going to be negative, and 5 divided by 5 is 1. All right, third example, and if you've watched the other two, I want you to try this one in your notebook. I want you to copy it down, see how it goes, and hit pause after you copy it. Do it all out in your notebook, and then come back, hit play, and see if you get the same answer. All right, negative 7w minus 44 equals negative 3 parentheses. Sorry, my w's or my equal sign's a mess. Negative 3, let's say w plus 8 inside the parentheses. Again, very similar as the other two problems. We have some glaring parentheses that are screaming, get rid of me, get rid of me. We can't combine the w and the 8 inside of them. So to get rid of the parentheses, we need to multiply through. Okay, let's copy over this side. Haven't touched it. We're not doing anything with that right at the moment. Negative 3 times w gives you negative 3w. Negative 3 times 8 gives you negative 24. Now we're down to the part where we have w's on both sides of the equation, so we have to move one of them over to the other. I'm going to look at that negative 3w. I'm going to make it disappear from this side by adding a 3w. So negative 3w plus 3w goes to 0 w's. And since I added 3w on that side, I have to add 3w to that side. What's negative 7 plus 3? That's going to give us negative 4 w's. Our 14 we haven't played with yet. And then on this side, the only thing we have left is that negative 24. All right, again, down to the basic two-step equation. Should add the 14, both sides of the equation, of course. And then when we rewrite, we have negative 4w equals negative 10. Last step here is to divide by negative 4 on both sides of the equation. And then let's see, we got a negative divided by a negative, so our answer is going to be positive. And we can't just leave it as 10/4, we need to reduce it by 2, so it's going to be 5/2. And there's our final answer. All right, good job. Hope you followed along. Thank you.